Hello student, in this video we will see the question answer, chapter number 4, page number 74 number. Question number 1. How would you distinguish experimentally between an alcohol and carboxylic acid? For that we know about the chemical properties and the physical properties of the alcohol and carboxylic acid. Then you can easily distinguish between the alcohol and carboxylic acid. We can distinguish between an alcohol and carboxylic acid on the basis of the reaction. As we see the chemical reaction of the alcohol and the carboxylic acid, and also see the physical properties of it. So we can distinguish between the alcohol and the carboxylic acid on the basis of the reaction with the carbonates and hydrogen carbonate. Acid react with the carbonate and hydrogen carbonate to evolve CO2 gas, and which is turns the lime water milky. So here you can see that the metal carbonate, or if we are using the metal hydrogen carbonate, and if it is react with the acid means the carboxylic acid, then it forms the salt, then water and the carbon dioxide. And this carbon dioxide is react with the lime water and it turns into the Milky Way. So by which we can pretend that in this reaction we are using the carboxylic acid. Why? Because the reaction between the metal carbon, or you can say the metal hydrogen carbonate, the carboxylic acid give the salt, water, and along with that carbon dioxide. How can we know that the carbon dioxide is generated? Because if the carbon dioxide is present, then it turns the lime water a milky. So by that we can prove that in this solution the carboxylic acid is there, and other solution it is of a alcohol. The alcohol on the other hand do not react with the carbonate and the hydrogen carbonate. And the properties of the alcohol, that it is not further react with the hydrogen carbonate or the carbonate. So this is the way by which we can easily identify that this is the alcohol and that solution is carboxylic acid. Let's see one more time. The question is that how can you distinguish experimentally between an alcohol and the carboxylic acid? So for that we are taking, suppose we are taking the alcohol first, and it react with the metal carbonate and the metal hydrogen carbonate. Suppose in the solution the alcohol is present, then it do not react with the metal carbonate and metal hydrogen carbonate. So we can come to know that the alcohol present. Suppose in the solution the carboxylic acid is present, then the carboxylic acid is react with the metal carbonate or the metal hydrogen carbonate, and it gives the salt, water and carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide we can pretend by the using a lime water, because the presence of lime water, carbon dioxide, this lime water is converted into the milky. So by that we can confirm that the carbon dioxide gas is evolved, and this carbon dioxide gas is evolved between the reaction between metal carbonate and carboxylic acid, or you can say the metal hydrogen carbonate and carboxylic acid. So we can confirm that in the solution the carboxylic acid is present. Now let's see the second number question. What are the oxidizing agent? Oxidizing agent means a substance that you can say the gain the electron during the reaction, and due to this reaction the oxygen number of that particular substance it get the reduce, that we known as a oxidizing agent. Let's see the answer. Oxidizing agent means oxidizing agent are the substance that gain the electrons in the redox reaction and whose oxidation number is reduced. Here in during the redox reaction, a substance who gain the electron, that is called the oxidizing agent, and whose oxidation number is reduced. that is considered as a oxidizing agent. Let's see one more time. What are the oxidizing agent? Oxidizing agent are substance that gain the electron in the redox reaction and whose oxidation number is reduced. Now let's move further. Page number 76. Question number 1. Would you be able to check if water is hard by using a detergent? So by using a detergent, we cannot exactly say that water is hard and or not. But by using a shop, we can identify that the water is hard or not. Because as we study that the shop is do not react with do not give the proper reaction in a hard water due to the formation of a scrum. But detergent give the reaction in the both the conditions, soft water as well as the hard water. So it is not quite possible to check hard water is hard or soft by using a detergent. So question is, would you be able to check if water is hard by using a detergent? Then the answer is detergent give a lather with hard and soft water both, while a soap gives lather with the soft water only. Thus, we can say that it is not possible to check if water is hard by using a detergent. As we study that in the difference between the soap and the detergent, in that the one point is that the soap is not give the proper reaction in a hard water. It is not unable to it is not able to proper do the reaction or proper cleansing of the clothes in hard water due to the formation of the scrum, while detergent can be used for the both the water, hard water as well as the soft water. So the answer is detergent give lather with the hard and the soft water both, while a shop gives a lather with soft water only. Thus, it is not possible to check if water is hard by using a detergent. The question is, let's see one more time. Would you be able to check if water is hard by using a detergent? The detergent give the lather with the hard and the soft water both, while a shop gives a lather with the soft water only. Thus, it is not possible to check if water is hard by using a detergent. Suppose the question is twisted and asks that, would you be able to check if water is hard by using a shop? Then it is right. Why? Because shop is not give the proper reaction in the hard water due to the formation of the scrum. We can see that we cannot easily wash our clothes. So by using shop, we can identify that water is hard or not. But in detergent case, it is not possible to check water is hard. Now let's move further. Question number 2. People use a variety of methods to wash clothes. Usually, after adding the soap, they beat the clothes on a stone or beat it with a paddle, scrub with a brush, or the mixture is against in a machine, washing machine. While is a agitation necessary to get clean clothes? As we know that in the shop there is a two parts, hydrophobic region and the hydrophilic region. Hydrophobic region means which is a water hater portion, and the hydrophilic portion means which is a water loving portion, and due to this property only the Michel structure is formed. Michel structure means in that structure uh, wherever the dirt particle is present, at that dirt particles the carboxylic tail is attached, and at the end side the ionic polar region is there, and due to this property it is form a cluster like structure, and that is called the Michel. And this Michel is it is a remain suspended in a colloidal particles, or you can say the colloidal substance. And for the remove this micelle which is stick on this dirt particle, it is necessary to agitate the clothes, or you can say the paddling, scrubbing, beating. So that is necessary to remove that micelle structure from the dirt particle. Now let's see. The question is that people use a variety of method of wash clothes usually after the adding the soap. They beat the clothes on a stone or a beat it with a paddle, scrub with a brush, or the mixture is agitated in a washing machine. Why is agitation necessary to get clean clothes? Then the answer is a sharp molecule has two parts, namely hydrophobic and the hydrophilic. With the help of this is it is attached to the grease, or you can say the dirt particles, and which forms the cluster, and it is known as a micelle structure. And this micelle structure is remain suspended as a colloidal particle on a dust particle, or you can say the dust or oily things which is present on clothes. So this to remove this micelle structure from the clothes, it is necessary to agitate the clothes. Let's say one more time. The question is that the people use a variety of methods to wash clothes. Usually, after adding the soap, they beat the clothes on a stone, or beat it with the paddles, scrub with the brush, or the mixture is agitated in a washing machine. Why is agitation is necessary to get clean clothes? So the answer is a soap molecule has a two part, as we know, that one is a hydrophobic region and the another one that is of hydrophilic region. With the help of these, it is attached to the grease or the dirt particles, and it is formed the cluster. And this cluster is called the micelle. This micelle remains suspended as a colloidal. And to remove this micelle, it is necessary to agitate the clothes. Now let's move further. The page number 77 and exercise. The first question is that ethane with a molecule formula C2H6 has, here you can see the spelling is ANE, means only single covalent bond present between the carbon atom. So here total how many covalent bond is there that we have to find out. The option A is 6 covalent bond, option B is 7 covalent bond, option C is 8 covalent bond, and option D is 9 covalent bond. Ethane means there is a 2 carbons, means C bond C, and each carbon there is a 3 hydrogen. So you can count from 3 hydrogen this side, hydrogen with the carbon, and 3 hydrogen with the other one carbon. So 3 plus 3, 6 bond that one, and between the 2 carbon atom, 1 bond is there. So total covalent bond is 7. So the answer is B. Let's see one more time. The question is ethane, here the ANE is there, with a molecular formula C2H6 has. Ethane means it is a saturated carbon. So it possesses the single bond only. So here the 2 carbon atom is there. So between the 2 carbon atom 1 bond, and each carbon atom have a 3 hydrogen. So both have a 6 hydrogen atom attached with it, attached with the 2 carbon atoms. So that 6 covalent bond is there, and between the 2 carbon atom 1 covalent bond is there. So 3 plus 1 total 7 covalent bond. So the answer is B, 7 covalent bond. Now the second question, butanone is a 4 carbon compound with the functional group. Here the suffix on is used. And as we know that suffix on is used while in the compound there is a ketone group present, means C double bond O group is present, then the suffix on is used. So here the name is butanone, on suffix is came. So here the option is given, first one that carboxylic acid, second one is aldehyde group, C that is a ketone, and the D that is alcohol group. So the answer is ketone. Why ketone? Because here you can see the name is a butanone. On suffix is came, and for the ketone group the on suffix is used. Ketone means C double bond O. So the ketone is the answer. Butanone is a 4 carbon, methane, ethane, propane, butane. Plus on suffix is there, and that is for the ketone group. So the answer is C, ketone. Now the third number question. While cooking, if the bottom of the vessel is getting a blackened on the outside, it means that the food is not cooked completely, the fuel is not burning completely, the fuel is wet, and the fuel is burning completely. The answer is the fuel is not burned completely. Why? Because there is an incomplete combustion is occurred. Due to this incomplete combustion, the black forming is arise. So the answer is B, the fuel is not burning completely. Explain now the next question. Let's see one more time, third number question. The question is that if you are cooking, then if the bottom of vessel is getting a black one on the outside surface, that means the A, that the food is not cooked, B, that the fuel is not burning completely, C, the fuel is wet, and the D, that the fuel is burning completely. If the fuel is burning completely, then the blue flame is there, and due to the blue flame, the vessel does not become a blackish. So the answer is a B. The fuel is not burning completely because due to the incomplete combustion only the black shooty flame is occurred, and due to that the vessel is become a blackish. So the answer is B. The fuel is not burning completely. Now let's move further. Question number 4. Explain the nature of covalent bond using the bond formation in CH3Cl. Here we have to explain the nature of the covalent bond by using this formula. Which formula? CH3Cl means chloromethane. Here the halogen group is there, and in halogen group chlorine is there. So here we have to use the prefix. Means we have to use this chloro name at the starting, and the one carbon is there. Due to that we can say that methane. So this compound name is become a chloromethane. So your question is that explain the nature of covalent bond using the bond formation in CH3Cl. So let's see the answer. Here you can see the carbon whose valency is 4. So it is denoted by the dot structure. And for the hydrogen, there is 3 hydrogen means 1, 2, 3, and the outermost orbit possesses 1 electron. So it is denoted by the cross. And the Cl means the chlorine who possesses 7 electron in their outermost orbit. So for the completion of the orbit, this chlorine is require 1 electron. So this 1 electron is shared by the carbon. And here also the carbon and hydrogen share 1 electron. Here also, here also. So the hydrogen valence is done. 3 of the hydrogen valency 2, 2. And the carbon which is required 4 more electron. So this 4 more electron from which 3 electron is given by the sharing by the hydrogen, and that 1 electron is shared by the chlorine. So how the carbon valence is also completed. So the carbon has a 4 valence electron. It shares 1 electron each with the hydrogen. Here you can see the carbon has a 4. So from 4, the 3 electron is shared to the hydrogen atom, and the 1 electron is shared to the chlorine atom. The bond between the carbon and chlorine atom Here, the carbon and the chlorine atom is a covalent bond. But due to the higher value of electron negativity of chlorine, the CCl bond is a polar in nature. Here you can see the chlorine is possesses 6 electron, means it possesses a very high electronegativity. Due to that, the CCl bond is a polar in nature. So question is that write down the bond nature in a CCl3, CH3Cl in CH3Cl means the chloromethane. So here the electron dot structure is given of a chloromethane, and here you can see the carbon has a 4 electron and it shares the 1 electron to this each hydrogen, means the 3 hydrogen, and the 1 electron is shared to this chlorine. Same like the hydrogen is share 1 electron to the carbon, like this 3 hydrogen is share 1 electron. Same like the chlorine is share 1 electron to the carbon. So how this all these components satisfied their outermost orbit. But here you can see due to the more electronegativity possessing chlorine atom. So this structure is a bipolar in nature. It is towards the chlorine atom, means the inner CCl bond is a polar in nature. Let's see the answer. The carbon has a 4 valence electron. It shares 1 electron each with 3 hydrogen atom and 1 electron with chlorine. The bond between the C and Cl atom is covalent, but due to the higher value of electron negativity of chlorine, the CCl bond is a polar in nature. Now let's see the next question. Draw the electron dot structure for ethanoic acid. Second one, that is H2S, means the hydrogen sulfate. Third one, that is of propanone. And the last one, that is of fluorine. In the first question here you can see the ethanoic acid. Here the oic acid is there, means the carboxylic acid is present, and the ethane means the 2 carbon. Let's see the electron dot structure of ethanoic acid. Here the 2 ethane means the 2 carbon atom, and oic acid means the carboxylic acid is there. So the structure, the chemical formula, it become a CH3COOH. So here the electron dot structure is given. As we know that the carbon possesses the 4 electron in outermost orbit. Here you can see it is denoted by the dot structure. And from this 4 electron, the 3 electron is shared to the hydrogen atom. Same like 3 of the hydrogen share their on 1 electron to the carbon atom. And this 1 electron is shared to the other carbon atom. Same, this other carbon is also share their 1 electron. And the remaining 3 carbon atom, from which the 2 carbon atom, 2 carbon electron is shared to the oxygen here, and the 1 is shared to the here. Same like here the oxygen is share 1 electron to the hydrogen. So like this ethanoic acid dot structure is ready. Let's learn one more time. The formula is become a CH3COOH. The C is possess of 4 electron in their outermost orbit. Along with this 4 atom, 3 electron is shared to the hydrogen atom. And same this 3 hydrogen atom share 1 electron to the carbon atom. Like this CH3 bond is formed. Same like this remaining 1 carbon electron is shared to the other carbon electron. Same, both the share 1 electron and satisfied their outermost orbit. And here for this carbon 4 electron, one that share to this carbon atom, and another remaining 4 carbon electron, in that this 2 is shared to this oxygen and 1 is shared to the other oxygen. Here you can see that this 2 electron is shared to this oxygen, and oxygen also shared 2 electron to the carbon. And same like this, here the 1 electron is shared to the other oxygen, and oxygen also share 1 electron. And here the oxygen share 1 electron to this hydrogen. So oxygen is required 2, so that 2 is given by the carbon. And here also oxygen required 2, so one came from the carbon and one from the hydrogen. So how these all the elements satisfy their outermost orbit, and thus formula is become a CH3COOH. In that, this between the CO there is a double bond is formed. The next one, that H2S, means the hydrogen sulfate. Here the hydrogen possesses one electron in their outermost orbit, whereas sulfur possesses 6 electron in their outermost orbit. So along this 6 electron, one electron is shared to this hydrogen and one electron is shared to this hydrogen. So here both the hydrogen possess a 2 electron by the sharing, so their outermost orbit complete. Same like here, the sulfur is required 2 electron. So that 2 electron is satisfied by the sharing of this hydrogen electron. So the H2S covalent bond is formed. The next one, that is of propanon. On suffix is there. On means there is a ketone group, means the C double bond O group is present. And for the propane means methane, ethane, propane. Propane means the 3 carbon atom, 3 carbon is there. So here you can see the chemical formula of propane is become a CH3COCH3. So here you can see, from along with this 4 electron of this carbon, the 3 is sharing to the hydrogen, and these 3 hydrogen also share their 1 electron to the carbon, and from 4 electron the 1 is remain that share to the other carbon atom. And same like this other carbon atom share 1 to the carbon, this carbon atom, first one carbon atom, and 2 to the oxygen and 1 to other carbon atom. Here same, the oxygen is share this 2 electron and this 2 electron. The CO bond is ready, but here the double bond is formed. Same like here, this carbon atom, one along with this 4, the one is shared to this hydrogen, one is to this and one is to this, and this one is to other carbon atom. So like this, the CH3 C double bond O CH3 bond is formed, and the name of this structure is propanon. The D, that is of F2, means the fluorine atom. In the fluorine atom, the outermost orbit possesses the 7 electron. So from the 7 electron, it require for the completion of the orbit, it require 1 electron. So that 1 electron is satisfied by this both the sharing electron. Here you can see the each fluorine is share the one electron. So how the F2, means the fluorine atom, is formed, and between this atom, this all this structure, the covalent bond is formed. Why the covalent bond? Because all the bond is formed by the sharing of the electron. So we consider it as a covalent bond. Now let's see the next question. What is a homologous series? Explain it with the example. The homologous series means the carbon compound that have a different number of carbon atom but contain the same functional group. Then we consider it as a homologous series. For example, methane, ethane, propane, butane, hexane, butane, pentane, hexane, heptane, like that. Means the carbon compound that have a different number of carbon atom, but the functional group is the same. So in such a case, we can consider it as a homologous series. Let's see in detail. A homologous series is the series of carbons that have a different number of carbon atom but they contain the same functional group. Here you can see the alkene group is there. In the first one, it is a methane. Here the carbon atom is number of carbon atom is 1, whereas in ethane the 2 carbon atom is there. But in the all the formula, there is a one functional, same functional group is there, that is of alkane group is there. So this series we consider as a homologous series. For example, methane ane suffix, in all the case ane suffix is there, means the ethane alkane group is there. For example, methane, ethane, propane, butane, etc. are all part of the alkane homologous series. The general formula of this series is CnH2n plus 2. The methane means CH4, ethane means CH3, CH3, propane means CH3, CH2, CH3, butane means CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. So it can be noticed that there is a difference of only CH2 unit between the each successive compound, but the functional group is the same. Between the all the carbon atom, there is a single bond is present, so we consider it as a alkane. This is the homologous series of a alkane. Homologous series means the carbon number of carbon atom is different, but the functional group in each of the compound is a same. So we consider it as a homologous series. Then the example is methane, ethane, propane, butane. In the methane, the one carbon atom is there, ethane two carbon atom is there, propane three carbon, and the butane have a four carbon. Butane have a four carbon, and this homologous series general formula, that is of CN H2n plus 2 is there. In next video, we will move further from the question number 7. Till now, thank you. Bye bye. Take care.